And our next speaker, Mr. Ravi Shankar, Managing Partner, Lawsonet, Promoter, IDS in New Delhi. He's having extensive experience in the field of international and domestic experience for over 25 plus years with very high value arbitration cases. He is also a qualified advocate on record with the Supreme Court of India. More than that, he is also a great humanitarian. When we approached him and told him that it is for the cause of Government Law College, he did not hesitate even for a moment. He said, "I am available. I'm at your disposal. You can set the session. I will be there." So that kind of outreach should be there from the arbitration community. As the previous speaker, Dr. Durgalakshmi ma'am rightly pointed out, there is a notion among the general public that arbitration, it belongs to the elite and to the metros. We have to break that notion. How we can break that notion? Only by such an outreach. We have to create awareness among the general public, and to start with, we have to create awareness among the students. By creating awareness, we are creating opportunities for the arbitration. So only in this way only we can develop arbitration and ADR in this country. So with this brief introduction, now I invite our next speaker, Mr. Ravi Shankar. Sir, with your permission,
yes,
we
sir.
want to have your session as an interactive one, sir, instead of having as a monologue one.
Yeah, that will be better. I will also appreciate.
Yes, sir. So to start with, I have a question, sir. Like post-COVID,
Yes. Yes.
What will be the shift in the legal profession, sir, especially in the commercial disputes?
After COVID, you are asking?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, after COVID, one important thing is there are going to be lots of contract-related disputes because India is a country where still force majeure clauses are not that effectively drafted. So there will be a lot of litigations and arbitrations arising out of this force majeure period or COVID period. All of us know well we have to confine ourselves into the Indian Contract Act and Section 56, which provides for absolute impossibility to perform a contract. That can help, and otherwise frustration of contract under Section 32 can help. These are the options available to us with regard to the contract disputes. With regard to the general development, I see there is going to be a huge change how we were handling the litigations and arbitrations. Now, many even very senior elderly arbitrators are also comfortable in working online. So earlier, if you see, if we have an international arbitration in Singapore, all the parties, witnesses have to travel all the way, stay there and do the proceedings and get back. Now we are doing an ICC arbitration in Singapore. The client is from Shanghai and I am sitting as a lawyer in Delhi. The arbitrator is sitting in Singapore and it is controlled by the ICC of Singapore. So everybody is coming on any one of the online platforms and doing it. So this is going to really cut down the costs in a big way. Number two, you will find more qualified available people, because if you see earlier, if we take an arbitration assignment, the whole day will be occupied for you going, coming and all those things. Now those are all coming down, and the arbitrators also, judges also. Now Supreme Court is going online. We are doing virtual hearings every day. Delhi High Court, all the high courts, not even high courts, even district courts have started working online. So the system is so simple. Filing is very easy. They also approve it, number it, put the objections on the same day. If you clear it, everything comes on the list on in 2 days or 3 days time. We appear, judges also appear with a lot of attention because only the lawyer and the judge and the other party is going to be there. There is no diversion or anything. So this style may pick up in a big way for future. Future is going to be the virtual hearings are going to make a lot of benefits to the legal community. I'm sure this is a great benefit out of COVID. Sir, you are on mute.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it's.
How about the commercial disputes, sir, as such? Will they be moving towards arbitration, or how it is, sir?
Sir, now if we see, actually, as Madam Durga Lakshmi also said, you also said, still the what they say, less cost contracts only still are not going into the arbitration. Otherwise, if you see all major contracts globally and in India also, even government departments are moving towards arbitration because see globally there are two reasons for the popularity of arbitration. One is less complicated procedure. Number two, enforceability globally. The arbitration awards can be enforced in more than 163 countries if the award gets generated from a New York seat. So these are the two reasons why globally arbitration is popular. In India, we have a special reason is the overly burdened corpse. My father's pension case is still pending in Supreme Court. My father passed away 20 years back. Then you can imagine how faster we are moving. In this way, I have seen many of my clients going bankrupt because of the delay in procedures.
True,
So now this arbitration also, now insolvency proceedings, both have really given a lot of discipline to the parties who are trying to run away from the obligations. So definitely this is a welcome change, and I am sure parties should. The simplicity of the arbitration, everyone should understand. Anybody can become an arbitrator. Any domain expert can become an arbitrator. You don't require so much of legal knowledge for that. Fundamental understanding is sufficient. And whenever if a technical arbitrator is there, they can definitely consult a lawyer for the legal profession. Because the beauty of your arbitration is that whatever subject you don't know, you can call an expert. If you don't know law, you can call a lawyer as an expert witness. If you don't know engineering, you can call an engineer as an expert witness. So this facility and the tool is available with the arbitrator.
correct.
So a lot of common sense, domain expert with a little bit of legal knowledge, everybody can perform as a fantastic arbitrator. It's going to be a huge opportunity for the legal community and the other professionals. Only thing is, still lawyers have to learn how to draft the arbitration agreements and little bit of intricacies. Then I'm telling you, arbitration is our future.
Thank you, sir. So I think one of the students is waiting for you, sir, to ask you a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, the last answer that you gave was something that put us in a comfortable chairs that you don't need an expert level of understanding. We can always call for an expert to give an opinion. So that really made things comfortable in mind for us. And I also come from a city called Coimbatore, which is really known for its MSME sectors. So most of the industries here in the medium and small scale sectors. So how is arbitration going to be an effective impact here, sir? Because they don't have much of an understanding about what is arbitration is all about. So how do we take it to them, and how effective it is going to be for the MSME sectors?
So very simple for any sector, let it be MSME or bigger ones or whatever it is. Enforceability of contracts is a big issue in our country. You will be supplying a material to a vendor or a buyer purchaser. They may be defaulting in payment. Now what you have to do, you have to go to court all the way, file a suit and wait for a judgment which may come after 2-3 years. And then when they go for an appeal, there is a full-fledged first appeal by which the entire trial will happen again. So a business person cannot withstand this kind of a time span. But if your contract is a contract which is not complicated, you can put the timeline in your arbitration clause. For example, Ramasubramanian sir is having an institution. You can say that institution will appoint the arbitrator. Nobody can question you. You can say, for example, IDAC is there. Their rules will apply, and then you can put further conditions. The arbitration should be on expedited basis, because as per our Indian law, there is a provision called fast track arbitration, in which the entire proceeding has to be completed within 6 months. Number one. Number two, if anybody want to appeal against arbitration award, they have to deposit 70% of the money in the court. So most of the parties will come and pay the money and go. Why they will pay the 75%, go and spend money to the lawyers like us? We will take more money than what they are getting. So all those problems. So this will be a beautiful process. And now in IDAC India, we have online process also. Many institutions have come out. So you need not travel to any place. You can sit in your office and conduct the proceedings. Everything you can upload in the arbitration. Even for a 50,000 rupees matter, you can have an arbitration clause. Only fees will be 4,000 or 3,000 rupees. You can put all the documents with your simple language, that is sufficient as a claim. Opposite party will be called for. Once you get the award, it becomes like a court decree, which is enforceable against any party globally. A Supreme Court award cannot be enforced in New York, but an arbitration award, if given by Mr. Ramasubramanian from Coimbatore, is enforceable in New York through the New York courts. That is the beauty of arbitration. So all of you should educate. As Sir is here, you can contact him. You can call all your MSME venture holders or owners. We can brief them simply how they can incorporate into their contract the arbitration clauses, which will bring in a lot of financial discipline among the people who are using your services.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's a great message to the MSMEs, because that is a pain point here in this city, especially in the western part of Tamil Nadu. The economy is driven by MSMEs. You may know that. It's a pain point, and everyone is looking for that. And unfortunately, the awareness is not there. So,
yes, that is the only problem.
Yes, sir. There is another student, sir. She wants to ask you a question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Taslima Nazmoon, a final year law student, also part of the Dean team. My question is that Arbitration Amendment Act 2019 stipulates 10 years experience is mandatory, and it deprives opportunity to budding lawyers like us. Please, may I know your opinion on this, sir?
Talisma, that qualification is for getting appointed as arbitrators. You can practice arbitration till then. Number two, I am giving you a good news. I have challenged that amendment, 2019 amendment in the Supreme Court, which is admitted also by Justice Nariman. Hopefully, this qualification, all the qualifications what they have mentioned will go, because it discriminates young people like you. Because as I was telling, we are putting arbitration clauses for buying in a finance agreement for buying a scooter, maybe 50,000 rupees. For that, you cannot expect a senior person of 10 years experienced arbitrator to come and sit and do the arbitration. But you will be interested. But they are denying that opportunity. So we have challenged it. Hopefully that will go. But as of now, that is the law. We have to follow.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That is a great news for the students community, sir.
Yes.
Because in other jurisdiction, when we are seeing very young people, they are practicing as arbitrators. Yes. So why not, sir? As long as they have that sufficient knowledge and training.
In fact, if you see, some of the retired IAS officers are coming as arbitrators, I have seen. Our students will have much better understanding of the process and the research methodology, using the computers, understanding the legal concepts, everything they will be much better. But the bureaucrats
Exactly.
are qualified, not the young lawyers are not qualified. This is a totally unacceptable bar.
So we hope that your petition is giving a
Yes,
break.
hopefully, yes, we will get a breakthrough. It's
We
a
have
cruel discrimination.
our next participant, sir,
Yes.
is waiting for you.
So good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vasant, doing final year LLB, and I'm part of Executive Committee BEAM. My question is related to Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Act 2019. In the Z Act, kindly mention and explain any one important section that can play an important role in the economic recovery. Thank you, sir.
Was it audible, sir? The question?
I am not able to hear. Mr. Vasant name I am seeing, but
Okay, sir.
I'm not able.
I can read it. It is in the inbox also. He is
Oh,
asking about the 2019 Amendment Act, and he is requesting
yes.
you to explain any one section that will play an important role in the economic recovery post-COVID.
The Arbitration and Conciliation Act post-COVID, I don't see any such specific provision. But what I can tell, that may not be exactly for COVID scenario, because it doesn't deal with any such section. But only one thing maybe you can say is earlier, while challenging an arbitration award, there was a provision by which the challenging party can bring in new documents to prove that the arbitral award is wrong. So many parties started filing new documents at the stage of Section 34, which is totally wrong, which is not a global practice also, because the award is confined to certain documents means that the court which is hearing the appeal also should confine its hearing to the grounds and documents which were considered by the tribunal. So that is clarified. Now that means you cannot bring in any additional document at this stage of Section 34. So Section 34 will get disposed faster. So if they get disposed faster, then automatically that gives a relief to the people who succeeded in the arbitration. So in my opinion, that can be one of the good points which may help economic recovery.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And there is another attendee. He's all the way from Saudi Arabia, sir.
Oh.
You want to Was it audible, sir?
No, I am not able to hear.
Okay, sir. So let me repeat for you, sir. Actually, he is asking In
Yes.
India, in general, most of the government contracts, like CPWD contracts, they're all one-sided. How it is admissible? When it is not so in countries like Saudi Arabia, if it is one-sided, they don't admit it.
No, now law is clarified. That is a little bit old news. Now all one-sided arbitration clauses are declared invalid by the Supreme Court of India. That means one party appointing arbitrator, or one party staff themselves coming as an arbitrator, or one party's managing director appointing any arbitrator, all those clauses are given up now. That means they are all invalid. So now the only way to appoint an arbitrator is appointing a neutral arbitrator. Either both the parties have to jointly appoint. If both the parties are not able to do, then they have to approach the court. If it is an ad hoc arbitration, any high court. If it is an international arbitration, if he is coming from Saudi Arabia, all international matters, if it is not an institution matter, institutional arbitration, then Supreme Court of India has the powers to appoint. So if he has a contract in which PW department, say executive engineer will appoint the arbitrator, they need not write to him. They can directly file an application in Supreme Court. Supreme Court will appoint a neutral arbitrator. Now all those one-sided clauses are invalid in law.
I think Perkins-Eastman case, sir.
Yes, that is the last case in which Justice Lalit has given a detailed judgment, by which he has earlier also there was an interpretation, but this interpretation makes it clear one party, if he is disqualified to be considered as an arbitrator, he will not have the authority to appoint somebody. So that is the prohibition. I think you are aware that our Indian Arbitration Act follows the IBA rules of a conflict of interest in international arbitrations, which is adopted as it is in our Arbitration Act. So that same red list, green list, orange list is also here. So by which any interested party is prohibited from determining the issues between the parties. In the same way, they are all disqualified to appoint also. Wherever they are mentioned as appointing authority, now they are not. They cannot exercise that.
So, in continuation to that, what you have been saying, especially in the tier 2 cities, there are hundreds of bank loan cases where the banks, they have arbitrators as if on their payroll, and that arbitrator is handling, maybe each arbitrator is having hundreds of cases with him. So do you think this Perkins-Eastman case will have an impact on that, sir?
Not only that, even otherwise, the arbitrators, see, these are all party nominated arbitrators. Now banks also cannot appoint an arbitrator. That also
Okay,
gone.
sir.
Existing cases also, the party should ask for a disclosure. If they disclose there are more than 3 cases, I am nominated by the same party, straight away you can go to High Court under Section 13 and remove that arbitrator. Because he is supposed to be a biased arbitrator. If somebody is, one party is appointing him in 100 cases, 100% he will be a biased arbitrator. So if one person goes and remove him, then naturally banks will not do this.
Exactly, sir.
Not only banks, many finance companies also do give all. They will catch hold of some retired district judge. They will give him 500 cases, 1,000 cases.
Yes.
Now that has come to an end. Only parties should realize their powers. If they ask for a declaration, matter comes to an end.
Thank you, sir. One more student is waiting for you, sir, to ask you a question. Hello.
Very good evening to all. Myself Madhumitra, and I'm doing final year. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please. You are audible.
Myself Madhumitra, and then, yeah, sir. Myself Madhumitra, and I'm doing final year LLB at Government Law College, and I'm a part of Beam Executive Committee. My question is that, sir, in second tier cities like Coimbatore, as a law student, what should I do to create awareness about arbitration among the public?
See, you can hold, these are all workshops. In the same way, you can tie up with some chambers of commerce. You can make a presentation. You can call Mr. Ramasubramaniam. He will come and explain, so that the all the parties will be benefited. You as a lawyer also will be benefited. You may be nominated as an arbitrator tomorrow in some matters, and also it is our duty to help our people by giving a legal awareness. If they go into the courts, no, none of the commercial institution can survive. They have to avoid courts to survive. As I told you, I have seen many companies are sinking because of the pending cases. Here in the arbitration, you can put special clauses also. As I told you, the arbitration can be paper only arbitration, the arbitration can be online arbitration,
Okay.
the arbitration should be finished within 6 months or 3 months. You can put any condition. If the arbitrator should be a qualified engineer if it is an engineering dispute. You can put a finance dispute, you can say that at least the arbitrator should have a commerce background or a finance background. Anything, if you put that becomes that makes the case easier. Parties get the benefit. Once parties get the benefit, naturally lawyers also will be benefit.
More opportunities will be created, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
So that is
yes.
how we can develop ADR also, isn't it, arbitration.
Many people now give up their cases because they cannot spend. He will have a 2 lakhs recovery case, maybe in Delhi. For a person from Erode or Coimbatore coming to Delhi running a case for 2 lakhs, he may spend all the money in that only. So he may give up that. Many people give up
Yes.
that. Instead of that, if he has an arbitration clause with an institution, in 10,000 rupees expense, he can get a degree in his hand.
Also within the specified time.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And we have another student on the line, sir, for you. She wants to ask you a question.
A warm evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, please.
A warm evening to one and all present here. I'm Gayatri Shanmugam from Government Law College, Salem. And my question is, sir, for law graduates, fresh law graduates, how come we can take it and pursue it as a full-time profession? Will it be more worthy?
Yeah, 100%. All of you, many students are here, so I am telling you. You can go into the websites of Singapore Arbitration Center, ICC, and also Mumbai International Arbitration Center. All of them have Young Arbitrators Association. That is free. You can join. They conduct many web programs for the young arbitrators like you. They are conducting many seminars and workshops. You can learn a lot side by side because it is an expert field. So side by side, you should project yourself as an arbitration lawyer. When I came to Delhi, everybody was proud in saying Supreme Court lawyer only. I only started telling I'm an arbitration lawyer. Now that is getting recognized. Likewise, you should boldly tell I am an arbitration lawyer. Then initially you may get smaller cases, but start reading a lot of judgments. Now you know every judge is interested in writing good arbitration judgments because their lifetime money they are earning after retirement. That is so everybody want to position themselves in the arbitration field by writing good arbitration judgments. So you will see many judgments coming in. So you read that, focus on Contract Act, understand the international arbitration structure also. You will be performing much better than many of your peer group if you focus on this area.
Thank you, sir. And sir, I have a question.
Yes.
What is the relevance of ODR in the second tier cities, sir?
Definitely, it will help in a big way because second, aligned cities, the only problem is they don't have the infrastructure. Otherwise, lawyers are there, disputes are also there. So, online arbitration, if they subscribe a clause, let us say if you take one of the arbitration is an IDAC, the other party may be in Punjab. there may be a one party in Coimbatore. So the lawyers can appear online, sitting in their office only, and handle the matter. And same way, the arbitrator assignments also can move to second class cities. Now, if you see in big metros, they all look for plum cakes. Likewise, for example, if you see Supreme Court lawyers, they will ask what is the dispute amount. It should be more than 20 crores. Then only they will say yes, yes, because they will get 35 lakhs fees. So, in my opinion, that is good, so that the younger generation will get the other assignments.
Correct, sir.
And if you see two tiers, when I see the students speaking, congratulations to Madam Principal also. I think they are all very good in English. They have a very beautiful way of presenting skills they have. They're able to ask very relevant points. That means you are all under a very good teaching system. So all your skills can be useful. That is why I told you, join the Young Arbitrators Forum all over the world. It is free. You can join LCAA, you can join Singapore, Dubai International Arbitration Center. Everybody has a young arbitration society or group. If you enroll there, they will do many programs. You will be an expert in 2-3 years. And then you can go to Chartered Institute of Arbitrators like Mr. Ramasubramanian and become a first regular member and then a fellow member. That will help you in a big way. But you can ask Madam also, Principal, to organize more workshops for you, so that when you come out, you should come out like a fully known arbitration professional.
Thank you, sir. One last question, sir.
Can I say a few words on this particular topic, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please. Welcome.
Yeah. Sir, as rightly said by you, the colleges in Tamil Nadu, we are affiliated to the Tamil Nadu Ambedkar Law University, where the students have a particular clinical course paper 2, which is exclusively meant only for ADR. So here what we do is, we take the children to visit the court, whereby you have something called as pre-litigation Lok Adalat. When I was in charge in Coimbatore College, I used to take the children I used to take the students, and we allow them to watch the proceedings. And the students are so good that they, interestingly, they sit, they see the nuances, like how the procedure is being done, how the people express their views, how the matter is being taken up, and how the matter is being settled also. So even the people who are coming, or the presiding people who are the retired district judges, they used to take keen interest in educating our children also. And the best part of it is, sir, because it's a clinical course, I felt that people, the effectiveness of the subject will come only when they see in their eyes, only then, once they understand the fruit, they get the fruit of it, when they see to it. And once the session was over, after a couple of months, one of my students came and told me, Madam, one of the pre-litigation Lok Adalat cases had come from one of my neighbor, and I went with them and settled the matter and came, because I knew only the procedure was only so much. I was so happy about it. So that means the concept has reached a particular boy, as a result of which he was able to do something. So the students of the present age are not like how we were. How we were initially. I think they have much exposure also, and these subjects are also something which will stand with the test of time also, sir. And they are now the courts also, even the district legal aid cell, they allow the students to watch mediation procedures also. So they are allowed to watch mediation, so whereby they understand how the mediator is discussing the problems. And unless and until, if it is a family issue where the parties are hesitant about it, they allow the students to watch, and they are encouraging the students also. And it's a paper for 100 marks, sir. So the children learn about the act also. At the same time, they have hands-on training also, whereby we take them to this Lok Adalat court also, pre-litigation Lok Adalat. And in this way, the students equip themselves. And apart from it, they attend to all these legal aid classes and all those things. So I think the syllabus also accordingly gives more importance to ADR. And the students are also working on it, and they are par excellent students, sir. Thank you so much for hearing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So one more student is waiting for you, sir, to ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Zestful evening, sir. Myself Soundarya. I'm doing final year LLB and I'm a part of BEAM Executive Committee. I have my question. I request you to advise pathway to become an arbitration professional.
You want to be an arbitrator or an arbitration professional? Can be both lawyer as well as arbitrator. There are very few people who practice only arbitration. If you ask me, initially you should do both. That means,
Okay, sir.
see, what happens is, sir knows well, if you see in Singapore or Dubai, what they will do, I will appoint you as an arbitrator, you will appoint me. Means I will recommend you as an arbitrator. Likewise, you can recommend me. Likewise, you are friends. You should have a network so that you can recommend to some of your clients your friends' names. Same way, friends will recommend you. For small matters, you can take up earlier. And what you should do is there are some courses on award writing, how to conduct arbitrations, all those things you should go and attend. And number three is you should practically see some arbitrations happening. You should attach to some lawyer who is having an arbitration interest. If you go and see, then you will be able to understand. And with the help of Madam, we can also assist you in organizing some mock arbitrations in your college, by which you can do like what do you
Role
say?
play.
Real arbitration kind of a situation you can experience, and you can also prepare files accordingly. So that will help you to build yourself.
Thank you, sir. And sir, Mr. Inba Vijayan, arbitrator.
Yeah,
He's
he's
asking a
here.
question to you, sir.
He is an expert.
So he is asking, what
Yes,
is the relevance of institutional arbitration in the tier 2 cities?
Sir, that is what Inba Vijayan sir knows well. Now every institution is moving into online hearings. Once online hearing happens, anywhere seat can be chosen. And unless otherwise parties choose, a seat cannot be chosen. For example, Coimbatore party can insist that arbitration seats should be Coimbatore only. If they succeed like that, then naturally the arbitrations in tier 2 cities will not be a problem even in arbitral institutions, because many arbitral institutions, they don't have their own facilities only. They use the hotels, they use the offices, the conference rooms of other people, even for physical arbitrations. Now many hearings have started happening online. So institutions also can encourage people to have seats in tier 2 cities. No harm in that. That's what, as you rightly said, this should be decided by the parties. This is all comes under the party autonomy. Parties themselves should not go and choose Delhi and Bombay. They should choose courageously Coimbatore.
Thank you, sir. And another student is waiting for you, sir, to ask you a question.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. From Government Law College, final year student, sir. So my question is, after an award is being given by an arbitrator,
yes,
the parties have the option of setting aside the award, sir. So
yes.
how do you think the award given by an arbitrator is enforced in India, sir?
See, you have asked a nice question. That is one challenge. Everybody is going and challenging. But the advantage now, after the 2015 Act, is now the parties have to deposit 75% of the award money with the interest in the court to get a stay of the execution. So now many of the parties come and settle it. For example, if you have 1 crore award, 75 lakhs, they have to come and deposit in the court. So many of the awards are getting enforced. That means parties come and settle the matter. This is one. Number two is but you cannot compare the appeal against the award like a civil proceeding. Civil proceeding is like a retrial because it is a appeal by right. It is a statutory appeal. Here it is not like that. Here mostly awards are interfered only when the contract is not followed and when the award is perverse in nature. That means either contract provisions or legal provisions or factual provisions are purposely ignored by an arbitrator, then only arbitration awards are getting set aside. Most of the awards are upheld by the courts.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I think the time is up. The session will.
Yes, actually, I also have to go for another conference.
24 minutes. So,
Yes, sir.
Anyway, it was very, very fantastic session, sir. Especially for students.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The takeaway was very, very invaluable because they are hearing from the leading arbitrator about your experience.
Thank you.
It's really fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for your invite.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Next, over to Suresh for the vote of thanks.
Sir, a warm evening to the honorable keynote speakers, Dr. Durga Lakshmi ma'am and Mr. Ravi Shankar sir, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, professors and principals of GLCs and other law colleges, advocates and friends from the legal fraternity. My name is Suraj, Executive Committee member of BEAM. It's a great privilege to have been asked to propose this vote of thanks on such an occasion, sir. I, on behalf of BEAM and our associating partner IDAC and the entire executive team of BEAM and IDAC, extend a very hearty thanks to Dr. Durga Lakshmi ma'am for gracing us with your knowledge of arbitration in Tier 2 cities. Thank you so much, ma'am. And Mr. Ravi Shankar sir for enriching us with your wide experience on arbitration and the role of it in the economic recovery post-COVID. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
The session had so many eureka moments to the participants, including myself. Since the majority of the participants in this webinar are students who are neonates in the legal field. Thanks to my GLC community members for supporting us in making this event successful. The webinar was so lit up with the great minds of varied audience from students in the legal field to the most successful arbitration professionals. A big hearty thanks to all of you for making us improve together in the field of arbitration. Wishing you a very happy Independence Day and a great evening to follow. Kindly request you to fill the feedback form post this event, which we'll be sharing it through WhatsApp and email. And please share us your valuable inputs to us to improve. See you all soon on the other side of a new topic in a new webinar. Thank you so much all for attending. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.